What's going on, y'all? Greg with Greg Said It. Back with y'all the day after the actual National Early Signing Day. And man, we got a lot of talk, a lot of things didn't quite go as said, as planned, as insinuated from some. And it's just a lot of, I guess, dust is settling since that day. We see that Boo Carter did go to the school he's supposed to went to, who he committed to. We see that Charles Lester went on down to Florida State, Boo Carter, Tennessee. We see that we were looking at King Joseph. These are all young guys, by the way. Went on to Syracuse with Nick Williams. That was a factor. He admitted it on his live, and everybody was watching. But then we have old Jordan Seaton, who committed to Colorado, did a lot of interviews, talked a lot of big talk, and then he up and paused, suspended his signing to the weekend to possibly look at Maryland. And I hear even Oregon is in the talk, which is interesting because of what they did with Bedford. So it's interesting. A lot of people feel a certain kind of way, and I don't blame them. I mean, we had a lot of people who talked the good talk, and we had a lot of people who, it's like it's becoming a circus, it's becoming a game, and well, I guess what we expect. A lot of things in the world is like that right now. We got a lot of people liking attention, the whole hustle between getting subscribers, and they seem like it's getting worse year by year. It's not even really innocent. There's nothing wrong with you, kind of having a good time with what you're doing. It's once in a lifetime thing. But man, when you get into, I guess, some of those character components, like say you use a school to get looks or get opportunities, get exposure, get followers, it can get ugly because, I mean, you're playing with people, We don't know everybody's mindset or where they are mentally. I mean, you playing an emotional game, I guess. Most game that probably shouldn't even be played, but it is what it is. I mean, you got people, kind of torn around. It's innocent, but it's like, I don't know. It's a thin line. And I don't know why you want to play that game, but I guess that makes sense for a 17-year-old, 8-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever. But we're seeing this weird game of people playing with the thought, especially Colorado. Like, I don't know why they feel like that's to be played with. I mean, either you go in there or you're not. But, I mean, we've seen people fake commitments. We've seen people act like they don't commit and not, or commit and don't sign. And it's like, for what? Because you still got to play football at the end of the day. You still got to go and win your job. I don't know. You're not even playing Colorado. I don't know. It's not funny. But at the same time, we look at what did Colorado really get out of it. Some people say they was greedy. Some people would say, that's what they get. Their coach is flamboyant. He would do the same thing. He had a lot of things said. I will say this, that the Colorado, I mean, they are the people who getting all the attention and getting all the spotlight. So I can see why people want to associate with it. And I also can see, maybe you feel like they that's, I don't know. I don't know how you can feel like it's fun to kind of play around with that. But Colorado did get a lot of things going. And because of the hype and maybe like wanting more, you kind of can overlook that. Because on one end, you can say, hey, they're trying to stop Coach Prime. They're trying to buy off all the players. And maybe that is so. Maybe that's a whole nother conversation. Because it's like, if he get all them pieces, it will be unfair. It kind of be like Jackson State. You see what happens when he get all the pieces. He can be very dominant. And they don't want to hear that mouth, right? They don't want to hear that, do you believe now? They don't want to see the Shador. They don't want to. They think that's what it's about. I don't think that's what they're doing it for. I mean, because all of that come from the hating, what they, the undermining, disrespect. They act like they're just going to be arrogant and rubbing in people's face. And I don't think that's ever been the case. I think anything, it'd be a retaliation or a comeback to all the comments made, which you made the comments about them first, about them not belonging. So you can't get mad when they do win, they come back at you, But I don't think they're starting the fights. They're not slinging the mud first. But like I said, you got to really look at what has Colorado accomplished before you say, did they fail because they didn't get those guys? They didn't get those high school guys who, honestly, you know, they got to prove themselves. They got to develop. Everybody who's great in high school don't necessarily come in and start or be an impact player. And most of them don't, because they got to adjust to so many things. They got to adjust to the different speed, different size, different lengths of the game, you know, different responsibilities out on your own. It's just a whole different thing that you will have to adjust to. So I don't know if we can really say you lost anything outside of your ranking, outside of, you know, your power ranking based off of, you know, did you win the class of 2024 and all of that stuff. But as far as immediate impact, I'm not sure I can say that it really ended those high school guys. And in the same way, they look down at a lot of the guys that they get out the portal and they say, well, hey, they were backup guys. Some of them started. Then you undermine that and say, well, they started for sorry teams or in the sorry conference, or I don't know. Then you say they didn't start. Well, they're not proven either. All we have is their high school tape. So there's always something to say. The only thing that really matters at the end of the day is how they do on the field. But even on paper, they're still one of the top classes. They still acknowledge some key areas that they had on the offensive line. Did they go get 20 offensive linemen? No. Did they get every offensive lineman that they want and need? Probably not. But I started to get concerned if that thing kept rolling, would they have too many linemen? Because a lot of these guys coming in to play. And we're really trying to fill in gaps. We're not necessarily trying to build a whole new line necessarily. I mean, that happens fine. But you had a few guys that's coming back that can play and ready to play. They're coming back from injury. They're coming back from ineligibility. It's not that Colorado absolutely had nobody. It's not like what we say last year, because a lot of those guys left and left us with an empty line. We got several guys who come in and play. So it's not a complete overhaul. Yeah, you brought in several and you got several. I think that's a good thing for the health, and I think it's a good thing for the depth of the offensive line. Same thing at the receivers. They got at least they got Shepard, you got Baby T.O., you got Timmons, that's 3. You got high school receiver, is it Miller? Okay, you get 4. Then you got all the guys coming back, which you had a lot of depth already. So are you really, really needing a lot at the receiver position? That's great. You brought in another cornerback. That's great. But you had a lot of depth at cornerback. You had already moved. You already had Hodges over there. You already moved. Slipped my mind. You already moved a couple guys from receiver to the defensive back room. And you got Kamani still developed. You got Travis over there. I'm not sure who all. I don't know about Stoutmeyer. I don't know about a couple guys who may come back. I'm not for certain. But I do know you only got 2 corners. And you know they can get hurt, so you want some depth. But they have pretty decent depth in the secondary. Safety, maybe they need a little help. But again, a couple of those guys were hurt last year. You had Robinson hurt. You had Travis J hurt. Vito, you know, and then you still have Shiloh. And I think Ward is going on. I don't know if you want to count Trevor Woods. But say again, only a couple of them going to play. Then you got your nickels, you know. Silman Craig's going to be there. Slusher's going to be there. You got a lot of guys. I'm more so looking at maybe move some guys around like you did with Trevor Woods. I would love to see a Travis J. I mean, he's a thicker guy, and he's good close to the ball with the run. I would love to see somebody like a Travis J in a linebacker. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. You see, definitely him. Even look at a guy. It's depending on they putting the weight on. But they're bigger guys. Robinson, Slusher. You know, these are bigger guys. You know, that are very physical on the run. Stoutmeyer. It's my movement safety. Why not backer? He got a lot of upside for our size. Right? These guys can easily be 220, 230. That's what they run their linebackers at these days. Because they in coverage, they blitzing. So that's not far for those guys. So some of these guys make it move around, get inside that box, and help out that linebacker core, because I haven't seen a lot of linebackers come in. I definitely want to see Trevor Woods. I'm sorry. He gets smart where he need to study, because I don't see him knowing linebacker at all. But these are some of the things we got to look at. If it was a failure, they brought a lot of key guys in where they needed them, and that was the line. They got a lot of good defensive linemen coming in. One from Alabama, one from LSU. Got a good old edge rusher from Kentucky. You got a good old tackle from Houston. They wreck havoc. You got a lot of guys. You got a guy coming in from Pitt off the end. I mean, you pretty much help solve that. You're not in a place where you lost a lot of D linemen. A lot of those guys that came last year are going to be back. You only lost a few of them. O'Neill's going to be back. I don't know if Coach said he declared the draft yet. Maybe I missed it. But, I mean, he's an older guy. He could and should go. You got Leonard Payne coming back. You know, you got, I believe, Walker coming back. Who else? Am I missing? A couple of them guys coming back on the D-line that did decent. It's a couple safety I miss. Solomon. You know, you got a lot of young guys. Some of them guys played last year in the secondary a little bit. Some of them guys played on that D-line a little bit. And they're going to develop over the offseason. They're going to hit that weight room. And it's like, we look over them because you think about who we need to get. This is not last year. He's not in the need to replace 80 guys. He can bring in 20 guys and be good. Because a lot of them guys were developing. A lot of them guys were injured. And they can play. And, you know, a few dominant guys make the difference. When he said 7, 8 dogs, that's it. You know, a couple guys on the line. Everybody on the line don't have to be a pure dog, or else you Georgia or something. I don't know. But and even they ain't got everybody, but they got 2 or 3. So you get a couple guys on that line that can bring it. A couple guys in secondary, a good linebacker. And 4 or 5 guys on the defense can turn that defense around. And I think you got the guys who can do that. You got a couple guys on that line filling in them gaps. Bull rushing, collapse in the pocket up the middle. Help with the run game. That can make a difference. You have plenty of playmakers that you can get the ball to on offense. A lot of those guys that was, you know, making the plays on defense are coming back. This year, they're good. So would I say they failed? No, absolutely not. You're looking at, did they get those high-profile guys who may or may not really made a difference this year? To what degree, we wouldn't know to make it that significant. Even with Seaton, it would be great for him to, you know, they're looking for that left tackle because Tank left. We'll see what he do. But I'm going to tell you, it's not looking pretty for how he's going about it. I don't know how you can, you know, you went, everybody accepted you, and then you put this bad taste in your mouth. I don't know how you come back to Colorado. The players, I don't know how they're going to look at you. I don't know how the coach is going to look at you. I don't know how the fans going to look at you, the way you're going about it. I don't know. That's a good thing. That's why it's almost like you can't come back here. It's like when Kamani left Miami. He couldn't go to Miami. When he treated Miami like that and they hid from him, and he couldn't go to Miami at that point. So I don't know how Seaton can come back. But that's just my perspective. Colorado's doing well. You got to appreciate and value what you got. Don't cry over spilled milk, especially you didn't even know that milk was even any good. It might have been sour. So with that, I'm Greg. Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Y'all check out my sponsors in the description. And I'll talk to y'all soon.